What's crazy about market structure, and this says a lot about politics in the country right now, both the left and the right want to pass it for different reasons. The right needs it because this is kind of Trump's signature thing. I'm the crypto president. How can I own the House and the Senate and not get a goddamn crypto bill passed? And so there's a real urgency for the right to pass this bill. The left realized, yeah, we should have listened to the few people who kept telling us there are more crypto owners than dog owners in America, and crypto is pretty popular, especially on young voters. And so why are we making what should be a bipartisan technology political? First, SEC tokenized stock. That's the good news. The bad news, so far it trades on Superstate, which is kind of a closed garden. So it doesn't trade with a lot of volume. You have to have an appointment basically to trade it. We are working really hard with the SEC, and I would tell you the SEC really wants this to happen where we get, and that's one of the negotiations in this bill, where we get kind of sandbox authority for our token to trade on decentralized platforms.
The biggest catalyst for 2026 isn't a chart, it's a bill. Novogratz reveals that he's been in direct contact with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who is now pushing for a market structure bill with unprecedented urgency. Why the sudden change of heart from the Democrats? 2 words: fair shake. The $190 million crypto pack has fundamentally terrified D.C. After seeing what happened in the Ohio Senate race, Democrats have realized that being anti-crypto is a political suicide mission with young voters. If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other investors who are paying attention. We're here to keep bringing you sharp analysis and voices that understand what's unfolding. Thanks for watching.
Bitcoin had a horrible year. And why do I think it happened? I think we crossed 100,000. We were the best performing asset over the last 5 years, 10 years, 6 years, 8 months. And it felt like we won the goddamn marathon. And we hugged. I even set a celebratory, Twitter to our entire client base. Guys, you did it. This community, I'm so proud of the community. And it's the first global brand that's ever been built by a community. It was a miraculous accomplishment. And I think that sigh of relief allowed this religious zealousness. We got to do it. We got to build. We got to relax a little bit. And you started seeing, we had a $9 billion seller. You started seeing some whales sell, not in a mass wave. I had a friend that wanted to buy a sports team, so he sold some Bitcoin to buy a sports team or to buy a boat, or everyone took a few chips off the table. Listen, markets are about supply and demand and flow of funds. And as you had the ETFs and then the DATs coming in to buy Bitcoin, they were met with sellers. And once the buying stopped, it doesn't take a lot of buying to push it back the other direction, right? Markets find price based on the marginal buyer. And I think we put a low in at 60. I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm pretty convinced. And so, yes, I've been buying some Bitcoin recently. I'm talking to a lot of people. They're all dabbling a little bit. But a lot of the old guys don't have a lot of dry powder. And so what we need is new narrative. And it usually takes a while. Like I can come up with some. Warsh is going to cut rates. That'll be good. Market structure, I think, is going to pass, believe it or not. Not positive, but I think so. I literally got a call from Chuck Schumer 3 nights ago. He's like, damn it, we're going to get this thing passed. I was like, okay, boss, keep on it. I'm talking about the left and the right. What's crazy about market structure, and this says a lot about politics in the country right now, both the left and the right want to pass it for different reasons. The right needs it because this is kind of Trump's signature thing. I'm the crypto president. How can I own the House and the Senate and not get a goddamn crypto bill passed? And so there's a real urgency for the right to pass this bill. The left realized, yeah, we should have listened to the few people who kept telling us there are more crypto owners than dog owners in America, and crypto is pretty popular, especially on young voters. And so why are we making what should be a bipartisan technology political? And so the core centrist of the Democratic Party was like, let's pass this thing and get it off the stage as a political issue. So the $190 million fair shake has raised doesn't go attack them in all their elections again. Like every Democrat believes that Bernie Moreno won his election over a pretty popular senator in Ohio because of fair shake. Right or wrong, that's what they believe. And so both the Democrats and Republicans wanted to pass. The bills are this close at this point. There's one big outstanding. Should stablecoins be able to give rewards? They can't even give interest, but give rewards that kind of mimic interest or not. And the banks are like, absolutely not. And Brian Armstrong is like, absolutely yes. So intellectually, Brian's 100% right. The real innovation is stablecoins that pay interest. That's an innovative product. It's great for the consumer. It hurts banks. What is driving me crazy, and I've been privately loud about this, but not publicly, is the senators are like, you guys have to figure it out. So they keep putting the banks and the crypto execs in an office saying, you guys come up with a compromise. I was like, guys, isn't your job to figure out what's best for the country and set the rules? And you're going to piss somebody off? Okay. Like that's how progress happens. Because of so much money in politics, both Republican senators and Democratic senators are scared to piss anyone off. And so we're in this weird standoff between Brian and, listen, to be fair, the other, Jeremy and Chad Pascarilla at Paxos, the guy, they're backing Brian. And Brian's right intellectually. Period. I hope he wins. I don't think he will. And so we'll see, where the compromise. So that's the one thing that could hold this thing up. I don't think it will be held up. I think it'll pass. And maybe if that passes, that gets us a little more narrative, right? Wall Street wants to participate, not because of Bitcoin. They understand we're going to move from a world of accounts to wallets, right? Paul Atkins said, I want everything on chain. And you look at how fast some of these on-chain ecosystems grow. And so the idea of tokenizing Galaxy stock or SpaceX shares, you're not going to sell them to the same people that are buying them already in the US. You're going to sell them all around the world to the 5 billion people that don't have great financial services in Cambodia, in Benin, in Paraguay, in Uruguay. Like, that's where crypto really matters. The same people who use stablecoins. You're not going to use stablecoins. You got your little phone, boom, it works perfectly. We have amazing payment systems in America, and we have amazing financial services offered. And so the crypto revolution has always been about serving the underserved. And why it's so important for America is it is an amazing platform for us to tell our stories, for our champion brands who everyone wants around the world to raise capital, to have investors in. And it's an amazing chance for those people to invest in Google. Like, forget Bitcoin, forget anything. Like, Google's been a pretty goddamn investment since everyone wrote off the new CEO. Right? And so most people in the world don't have a chance to invest in those things. And so why market structure is important is it brings Wall Street in. Wall Street is here to sell. Wall Street is one of the great selling machines ever built. They sell mortgages, they sell equities, they sell private equity, they sell stories. People on Wall Street get paid to sell, not to buy. Wall Street's going to sell crypto. And that crypto is going to run on the Ethereum blockchain or the Solana blockchain. That story, once you have a wallet, you got to have some Bitcoin, right? And so my hope is the bell goes down. There's an acceleration of TradeFi into our space that legitimizes it more, right? I always said nobody did more for Bitcoin to legitimize it than Larry Fink. So now we need a Larry Fink in each of these organizations. And all of a sudden, the 2% allocation to Bitcoin just becomes, of course.
This isn't just about trading Galaxy stock. It's about selling SpaceX, Google, and dollars to the 5 billion people in the unbanked world. Places like Cambodia, Benin, and Paraguay. Crypto's true revolution is serving the underserved by giving them access to the world's best brands through a mobile wallet. Once a user has a wallet to hold their stablecoins or SpaceX shares, they have to own some Bitcoin.
We have 1.63 gigawatts of power that we own.
At Galaxy.
At Galaxy. And right now, power is the scarce commodity. And so we've already leased out 800 to CoreWeave, and they sublease it out to tenants. We're in the process of, now entertaining Quarters, right? You guys know who they are. It's Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google. They're all racing to get power. And it's really power 2030, 2029, 2028, 2027, which we have. And so we have a great asset, which we are hoping to maximize the return on. That's a big business. Who knows what it's worth? I think it's worth a lot. Morgan Stanley said in their research report, said our crypto assets are worth double what our our data center assets are worth double what our stock price is trading at. We still have a great crypto business. Our crypto business did $500 million of revenue last year. The business itself, not the balance sheet. The balance sheet lost money because crypto was down. And so right now, it doesn't feel like we're getting a lot of value for, A plus B is equal less than C. That's not always the case. And so we're doing what you're supposed to do. We're building each business with, heads down, a lot of hard work, grinding away. I haven't at all given up on Bitcoin. Like there's 300 million people that own some Bitcoin. They're not going to say, oh, that was a mistake, right? They're going to dig in. And we're going to have a seller's exhaustion, which I think we did.
People want me to ask the hard questions. Are you going to break up Galaxy into an AI and a crypto business?
I said this publicly and I'll say it again. We constantly we look at what makes sense and we'll make the right decision. It's not as easy as just snapping your fingers and breaking things up. And it's like people say, oh, you should break it up today because you're not getting value. Like I'm looking 2 years ahead and saying, okay, what's the capital structure look like? And there's one argument that in 2 years, we're going to have $1 billion of free cash flow coming into the company just from the data center business. And that gives you a real advantage of like trying to win in crypto. But we're going to take that, quarter by quarter, we think about it. And one transaction internally or externally can change a lot of the way you think about it. And so we'll see.
Tokenization. You guys have announced that you may tokenize Galaxy stock or are thinking.
We did tokenize. We're the first SEC tokenized stock. That's the good news. The bad news, so far it trades on Superstate, which is kind of a closed garden. So it doesn't trade with a lot of volume. You have to have an appointment basically to trade it. We are working really hard with the SEC. And I would tell you the SEC really wants this to happen where we get, and that's one of the negotiations in this bill, where we get kind of sandbox authority for our token to trade on decentralized platforms. So imagine it trading on Uniswap or Hyperliquid. Like that's awfully cool. And that is the future of DeFi. Why DeFi is going to be so powerful is you're going to trade all these assets on these exchanges around the world. Now, is that fair to the TradeFi guys that have these huge infrastructures of compliance? I'm not sure if it's fair or not fair, but that's where innovation happens. And so it's the same thing when I think about the business I feel stupid about that I kind of missed is prediction markets. Prediction markets are going to be huge. We're looking constantly to figure out our angle back into there. I mean, Shane was asking me to invest when he was a young kid, and I was like, I didn't think the regulatory hurdle would walk away. And, he's awesome, but he's a little crazy. And so I was like, yeah, we'll see. And we'll see went from 0 to 10 billion in about a week. Why? They had courage. They basically broke the law when they said, screw it, we're going to let you trade on politics. And all of a sudden people saw what attention, right? Where the world has attention, they're making markets. And they're making them really quick. I mean, 80% of their revenue now is sports betting. And so if you're FanDuel's, I can't beat them, join them or try to blow them up. And they're all doing this both, right? There's an army of lobbyists in DC right now from the casinos and from the sports books saying this is no fair, this is no fair. But the CFTC is like, we already made a ruling. We'll try to change it some. We'll see. I saw the CFTC came out recently and said, we'll see if we change it. So what I'm telling you that story because none of this is a straight line. There's punch, counter punch, and it's going to be the same thing with DeFi. But that's where the tokenization story really works.
If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with other investors who are paying attention. We're here to keep bringing you sharp analysis and voices that understand what's unfolding. Thanks for watching.